The movie The Matrix is not science fiction, it's a documentary for this reason. Every human gets programmed in the first 7 years of their lives. And the reason is very simple. Imagine I go to the Apple store, I buy a new iPod, and I come out, in the front of the iPod is called the touch screen where you can create. And I say, okay, I bought a brand new iPod, I come out of the store, and I open it up and I push play, and nothing happens. And I'm a little upset for the old guy just spending all the money. And some little 7-year-old kid comes up to me and says, you can't play anything until you download something. And the whole idea is this. A child is born but not conscious until around age 7. Consciousness is a higher vibration in the brain called alpha. The first 7 years of a child's life, the child is in theta. Theta is below consciousness, and it's associated with imagination. So a child in the first 7 years is really just involved with being in theta, imagination. So I mean, what does that look like? And I say, a child's riding a broom, and the mother says, give me the broom, and the child is saying, no, it's a horse. What's the point? In theta, imagination becomes real. So a child's first 7 years is mixing real life and imagination. But that's not the point. The point is theta is hypnosis. I say, well, why is it relevant? And the answer is this. Before a child can be conscious, like using the touch screen on the iPod, if you have no data, you can't be conscious of anything. So if a child was just coming out of the birth canal and could speak, just imagine a child could speak, it's coming out of the birth canal, and we say, hey, welcome, tell us something. And the point about it is this. Nature created the first 7 years to download programs. I say, well, what do you mean? I say, to be a functional member of a family and a community, how many rules? Just think of how many rules a child must learn to be a functional member of a family and a community. I mean, just think about it this way. The way the dad talks to his own kid is not the way the dad talks to the neighbor's kid. It's not the way the dad talks to his wife. It's not the way the dad talks to the neighbor's wife. It's not the way the dad talks to the policeman. What you're seeing here is that we have to learn a lot of modalities to incorporate ourselves in the world. So how does it happen? Nature creates the first 7 years of theta brain processing. Theta is download. It's not in consciousness. It bypasses consciousness and goes into subconscious. So the first 7 years is to create a database.
Anything you work hard at, anything you put a lot of effort into, anything you sweat over to make it happen, the question is, why are you working so hard? The answer is, your programs in your subconscious don't support that. When you're thinking, that's conscious mind, creative. I'm thinking. If your conscious mind is driving the vehicle, let's say you're controlling your nervous system, controlling your behavior. You got the hands on the wheel. You're driving the car with your wishes and desires. I want to go here. I'm going to go do that. And I say, great, wishes and desires. Let's say you're walking down the street, and then all of a sudden you have a thought. The conscious mind at this moment, is it paying attention to the walking on the street, or does it go inside your head and look for the answer? That's a question. The moment the conscious mind went ahead, it's not paying attention to what's going on the outside, is it? When my conscious mind is in thought, my subconscious by default becomes autopilot. When I am thinking, my conscious mind is engaged in creative imagination. By definition, it's not paying attention, and whatever behavior I'm engaged with at that moment is now going to be run by what? Subconscious program, autopilot. When you're thinking, autopilot, subconscious is in control. How much of the time are we thinking? The average person, 95% of the day has a thought going on, which means 95% of the behavior during that day is programmed and managed by the subconscious. Your life is not controlled by the conscious mind, which is wishes and desires, okay? It's controlled by the subconscious, which has been programmed by observing other people. And then your life becomes an expression of their behavior. The programming of your subconscious started in the last trimester of pregnancy and was intense from year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and by 7 starts, the programming is less. So the first 7 years are programming, okay? And you say, but how do I know what the programs are? 95% of your life comes from the subconscious. Point? Your life is a printout of your subconscious programming. So you don't need to go back in your life to find out who did what to who to create the life that you have. All you have to do is look at the life you have because it is an expression of your programs. The things that you like that come into your life easily are there because you have programs to encourage and support that. Anything you work hard at, anything you put a lot of effort into, anything you sweat over to make it happen, the question is, why are you working so hard? The answer is, your programs in your subconscious don't support that. What if, and this is not a what, it's a can do, what happens if I change or rewrite my subconscious? What if you took all the negative behaviors that are interfering with your life and rewrote them with very positive behaviors, with wishes and desires that are the same as the conscious mind, so that either the conscious mind or the subconscious mind are both operating from wishes and desires? Whether you're paying attention or not paying attention, you're still playing wishes and desires. And so in other words, you can have a honeymoon life the rest of your life every day. The only reason you lost the honeymoon is because you went back and got caught up in playing the old tapes and sacrificing and sabotaging yourself without even you seeing it, and the honeymoon ends. If you had rewritten the subconscious program so that they conform and aligned with your wishes and desires, then it wouldn't make any difference if you're thinking or not thinking. Your behavior in both situations would always lead you to the full happiness of the honeymoon experience as a way of life every day of your life. Here's the 3 things to rewrite your subconscious. Number 1, how did it learn in the first 7 years, the programmable period? I say, the brain was in a low vibrational frequency called theta, which is hypnosis. I say, so if I use hypnosis, I can download a program. And then below theta is one lower vibration called delta, which is absolute sleep. Every day when you wake up, you're coming from delta, the lowest vibration. Just as you're waking up in the morning, just as you're coming out of sleep, the immediate, groggy period in that beginning, that's theta. That's where imagination and hypnosis and reality start to mix together. Every day, when you're going to bed or when you're waking up, you go through a zone of theta. Naturally, from sleep vibration delta, the lowest, to waking up, you have to go through theta. Theta is imagination. So guess what? If you put earphones on and play a program as you're going to bed, just as your conscious mind lets go and is not paying attention to the program at this point, you're really going off into sleep. Theta is engaged. And what's theta doing? Taking the program and downloading it into the subconscious mind, because that's what theta does, hypnosis, bypassing the conscious mind, which just went to sleep. So every night, putting on earphones and playing a program of a behavior that you want to create in your life, repetition of that every night will then manifest that experience. Number 2, what about programming after age 7? I go, well, then the conscious mind's working. So how do I put a new program in? I say, you practiced. You repeated something over and over and over again, making a habit out of it. So repetition, just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Even if it's not real at the time, it will become real as it becomes downloaded as a program. Your subconscious will take that program and then use it to manifest life from it. Yes, we've been programmed. The vast majority of the programs are negative and disempowering. So yes, the vast majority of people on this planet are having that negative experience as well. So the next most important thing now is to recognize, well, if I'm not getting what I want, is it because the universe is not giving it to me? And the answer is almost inevitably no. It's because your own program that's invisible, operating 95% of the day, is keeping it away from you.